linear algebra. So let me first go over the syllabus. And if you have any questions, either you can type them in the chat box or you can turn on your mic and ask the question. Okay. But I do ask that if you don't have a question, that you keep your mic off. Otherwise, you might hear a whole bunch of background noise. Okay, so first off, I better turn up my mic a little bit. Okay, so hopefully you can hear me. Okay, so Math 270. The most important aspects about this course are located here. So the text that we're going to be using is Elementary Linear Algebra by Coleman and Hill. And this is where you're going to be doing all of your homework assignments. So all of your homework assignments are going to be from this book. And so this is the text that we're using. If you go online and you go to the syllabus, this has a live link. So you can actually view and download that book here. Next, there are two supplementary texts that we will be using minimally throughout the course. So these are, for today, actually, there'll be some things you can do from these two texts, linear algebra done right, and then the linear algebra done wrong. So again, there are live links here. If you click on the syllabus, you can actually download those. So, as I say, the main text is the Coleman and Hill. The only problem with Coleman and Hill is they really don't give you any motivation why they're doing some things. So I will get the motivation from these two texts. So these are for motivation, not for getting actually doing theorems or actually doing any problems or exercises from these texts. They're just for background motivation that is not included in the Coleman and Hill text. So it's sort of things to explain why Coleman and Hill are doing things. So those are the text. And my name, Stephen Castillo. And here are my contact information. And my office hours are from 1 to 2 o'clock. Oh, I forgot to put them in. They'll be put into a Zoom later today. I forgot to put my office hours in Zoom, but they will be. I put the lectures in Zoom, but I forgot about the office hours. Okay, so let me go to, here. Things you want to know about the course. Okay, so the grading, it's a fixed brackets. So I really shouldn't say curve, but it's a fixed points. Homework, 5% of your grade is homework. 60% are from the exams. They'll be, well, I'll tell you about the exams and from the final exam. Important dates are listed here. As far as the dates for the exams, these are approximate dates for the exams. These are the dates that I think I will actually be doing the exams. Okay. So let me go up here. Well, I guess I should talk about homework first. Unfortunately, there's no real online component for this text as far as doing homework problems. There used to be, but then after it got, they kept uh, doing different publishers. So now it's Pearson, and it's actually now it's out of print. And so it was Pearson, and now it's out of print Pearson. So that's so there are no online component of it. So unfortunately, what that means is that all the homework problems are going to have to be done from the book. And so when you do the homework problem from the book, you're going to write down first your name, the instructions, the question, and the solution for each of the problems. You should show all your work in an organized manner. Leave a blank line between problems. And, it doesn't matter about using both sides of paper, who cares? But you start a new section on a different page of paper, okay? Now, the way that you'll submit it is online. Now, I'll go in a second, I guess, online. And you click on, there's something saying homework assignments and readings, which tells you what you should be doing over the next few days or whatever. Sorry, something's caught in my throat or something. So you'll look on those homework assignments. There's a little button that says submit. You'll submit your file, a PDF file. Either if you have a scanner, you'll scan in every page. If you don't have an actual scanner, then if you have an iPhone, in the Notes application, they actually have a very nice scanner. And you just basically put your piece of paper down, and the phone figures out exactly how to crop and orientate the page, and it scans it, and you just keep doing that, showing it page after page, and it does it very quickly. If you don't have a scanner, you don't have an iPhone, then you'll have to take pictures of it. That is the least optimal way to actually do it, because unfortunately, when you take pictures, a lot of times the pictures aren't focused, and the colors are wrong. And so unless you have extremely bright lighting, sometimes it's very hard to read your pictures, your JPEGs. Once you've taken your JPEG, but if that's the only option you have, then that's the option you use. So you just have to be sure that you have very bright lighting shining on your piece of paper, much, brighter than you would normally have. Otherwise, the page of paper will look very brown, and it'll be hard to actually distinguish, especially if you're writing in pencil, to actually be able to read your writing. Okay. So, I just saw that chat. Oh, would you mind? No, that's even better. Yeah. That's even better. Because that will give you, and of course, so long as you save it as a PDF. So if you do it on an iPad or whatever, you just, save it as a, when you send it to me, I guess that's about the only way to send it. Just send it to me as a PDF. And that's easier and faster. OneNote, you can do the same thing, convert it to a PDF on OneNote and send it. Okay. Yes. So those are all Yeah. So that's much better than doing it on a piece of paper. Okay. Yeah, so maybe I should put that as an option too. If you have a, you know, some sort of technology like what I have, where you can write and then convert to PDF, that's also another option to do. Okay, so let me go to the bottom. Here. These are the homework assignments from Coleman and Hill that, and this is for the, obviously, for the whole course. So here they are listed. Some sections just have like one problem to do. Other sections are a little bit, well, maybe that's the longest. This one has more problems. I guess 1.5 has the most problems. A lot of them, yeah, a lot of them are just in the single digits, 2 or 3 or 5. Okay. So those are the homework assignments. They're also listed at the beginning of every module. They tell you what to read and what the homework problems are and the dates that they are expected to be sent in. Now, these dates here, if there are 6. Oh, no. No, you do all of them. So you do every problem. So you do every problem total. Okay, so all of these problems here listed, you should do every problem, each of those problems. When I grade, I look at that you've done every problem, but I only look in detail at a few problems, like 6 problems I pick out, and I look, did you, cross your T's, dot your I's for each of those problems? So I go through with a fine tooth comb for 6 of those problems, but I look to see if you actually attempted and if it more or less looks like you went the correct route on all of them. But on 6 of them, I really look at them and see if you actually did it. Okay? Yes. Good question. So yes, you do all of them. Okay. In general, any questions about the homework? In general, actually, I think it's at midnight. So I believe you can actually, I'll go on the computer in a second. Well, I'm on the computer, but I mean, I'll go on the on Canvas in a second. I believe, well, it tells you the time. I believe it is at midnight. I put the when it was due, and I don't think I made it where you can't submit afterwards. So if you submit afterwards, it just has it just tells me that you submitted late, but it doesn't actually lock you out. So I haven't done it yet where I'm locking out students. I don't think I will. I don't think I'll lock out students if you submit it, late or whatever. I'm not going to lock you out. You can still submit it. It'll just have a little timestamp on it saying you did a little bit late. Yeah, that's fine. But please note that, let's see, if you click on, again, if you click on this link here, well, it's not a link in the PDF. If you click on it, you can download it. Okay, so you can, so the 9th edition is right here, available to you. Most of the problems from the exam will be obtained from this homework set. the majority will be taken from this homework set. Okay, so that's 5% of your grade. The vast majority of your grade are from the exams and from the final exam. So let's see, here. So there'll be 3 exams that will be given along with a comprehensive final exam. And so it's more or less 2 chapters per exam, more or less. And yeah, chapters 1 and 2. And then the final exam will be on the whole book. 10. There'll be 10 questions. So there are 10 questions per exam. Some of these, you know, so there, as I say, majority of them will be straight from the book. Okay. And a majority of those will be straight from the homework set. Okay, is it timed? Yes, it is timed. It is so basically it's during class time. You would start at 8 a.m. and you'd end at, what time does this end at? 10 o'clock or 9:50. So from 8 to, actually I'll probably have it end at 10. Probably from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. will be the exam, okay? And something like that, yeah. Yes. So exam 1 is more or less chapters 1 and 2, but not 3 and 4. 3 and 5. Because 4 is actually done after 6. So it'd be, yeah, but basically it's that 1 and 2, 3, 5, 4, 6, and then 7, 8. That's more or less the. So the answer is I will be having I will be having putting up the sample exams, but as I said, they're more or less just problems from. I'll probably just pick a few problems from here and write up the 10 problems or something from here, and saying, having them as sort of the sample exam and the way you should do it. Unfortunately, I didn't finish that yet. So I didn't actually, there's actually a module that hasn't been published yet, and it was a sample exams module. So I will be putting that up sometime. Okay. Oh, graphing calculus cannot be used. Oh. What I recommend is like a, what's it called? A TI 30, because that's only, so a TI 30 is like $10. So I like $10 calculators myself. So, how does linear algebra compare to other math courses? Okay, so linear algebra is a very broad subject. So what you're really asking is, how does Math 270 compare with other math courses? You'll be taking probably more than one linear algebra class. So probably 2 or 3 linear algebra classes. This is one of them. This is the first in the bunch of linear algebra classes that you'll be taking. How's it compare? It is different than other math classes. It is more theoretical than other math classes that you've seen. So as far as difficulty goes, It's certainly not as difficult as like Math 263, Math 262. It is, in theory, a little bit more theory than you got in Math 261. So it's certainly not as difficult as the Calculus 3, which is definitely the most difficult of all of the math courses, all the lower division, of all lower division math courses, Calculus 3 and Calculus, followed by Calculus 2, are the most difficult for students. Yes, the final is cumulative. Oh, yeah. So as far as the exam is not multiple choice because linear algebra is not it has very few calculations. So it isn't like, you do something and your answer is 12. So there's no way to just sort of submit a number, have a multiple choice. It will be done on the computer. There'll be a problem. You will then submit it the same way you submit homework. And so the instructions for submissions are going to be exactly the same way. So these sort of instructions are the same for the exam. Now, what I would have you do is usually there's a little text box where you put in the quote unquote answer, and it's usually just a few words saying, how did I do it? Well, I used this theorem to do it or something. So just sort of a quick 5-word summary of what you did. But they're just summaries. Oh, is Calc 3 and differential? Oh, so the answer is no, it doesn't matter. Okay, so someone was asking, I haven't taken Math 263 yet, nor Math 275. I haven't taken Calculus 3, nor have I taken differential equations. Am I at a disadvantage? The answer is, will this make the course any more difficult? No, not really. But Math 275, so this is a weird thing, and this always, at every college, university, everywhere, we have the same problem, which is that Math 270, linear algebra, supposes Calculus 3, Math 263, and differential equations, Math 275. But Math 263 assumes linear algebra, Math 270. Math 275 assumes Math 263, Calculus 3, and Math 270 linear algebra. So all these courses assume each other. So are you at a disadvantage? No, not really, because those parts that you need or that we give you as examples, either you've done the course and we say, okay, this is where you used it, or you haven't taken the course. This is when you take the course, when you take that other course, this is the explanation of what you did in that other course. So we give you the parts that you need from the other courses and tell you where we used those parts of this course in the other courses. So you're not at a disadvantage. In sort of a idealized world, and they do that at some colleges, but where they combine all 3 courses. But then it's like a 10-unit class where you do linear algebra, differential equations and calculus 3 all at the same time. But that's a lot of work. So other than doing that, we split into 3 courses, and you just sort of, each of them use parts of each other, and that's just life. Okay, so that's my answer to the person's question about the fact that they didn't take the other 2 courses, and that's perfectly fine. I don't imagine that a lot of people will have taken all 3 courses, the calculus 3 and the differential equations before they take 270. Okay, so that was homework, that was exams. Oh, when you're taking an exam, you will need to turn on your webcam and your microphone. If you do not have a webcam or a microphone, then you would need to set up your phone so that you can be observed while taking the exam. Okay. And the setup is the same for the final exam, no different for the final exam. If you do not do well on exams, you can always retake exams. So if you feel that your exam you didn't do well, you can retake them. Okay. Let's see. What else? Let me just see if there's anything else I need to go over. And then I might go over Canvas for a second. Are there any questions for you guys? While I'm looking, see if there's anything else I need to go over. I think I went everything. I think I went over everything as far as, there's some questions. Okay, good. Oh. No, so if you're unsatisfied with your score, you may retake exams. Okay, you can retake as many exams as you wish. There's no limit on it. When you retake an exam, you'll be taking it outside of class. With a computer, I am able to give everyone a slightly different version of the same exam. And so when you retake it, you'll be getting a slightly different version of the same exam. I basically want it to be showing you during the exam. So sort of you and your environment as best as I can. Oh, what's the purpose of the supplementary textbook? Oh, the purpose of the supplementary textbooks is to give background for our main textbook. So the supplementary textbooks, those are sort of quick reading as background. Okay. And so, yeah, so that's just the purpose of the supplementary textbook. Yes, so the exam is really just an online version of a paper exam. So it really is, the only difference between this exam, taking the exam in this class and taking it in a, on paper, is that you look at your computer to see what the question is. And then you write down, the question, and then you write out the answer, and you scan it and give it to me. So it's really the same process that you would normally do in a classroom setting. Okay. Any other questions? If not, let me go quickly over Canvas. So let me close this and then, yeah, let me go to Canvas. Okay, Math 270. Okay, here, 1 second. Share screen. And where's it? There it is. Okay. Oh, the reason for you, so to what I would say is you should write down. So the best policy is to write down what problem, say at the top of the page, you say, this is problem 3. Write down at least a little paraphrase of it, and then write down the solution. And write down your name on the page, okay? This will prevent any sort of computer problems that may occur, okay? So this is the best practice. There have been many times students don't write down what question it is, nor the problem, and they do not give pages in order. And sometimes there have been problems where some pages will go with another student. So this is why I want. So the best practice is you put your name at the top of the page. You put the question, this is question 3. And you write out at least a few words or at least some paraphrase of it, so I know what you are, what problem you're actually doing, okay? I know it takes a few extra seconds, but it's much better for you than you having to resubmit everything again, where things have gotten lost, okay? So this just prevents these technical problems that hopefully have been cured in Canvas, okay? But since they have occurred in the recent past, these are the best practices, okay? Now, if you don't do it, there's no penalty, but when things don't go along well, then you have to resubmit everything, and that's extra time for you to do things. Okay, so good. So hopefully you can read this. Oh, here, wait, let's see. Yes, actually, usually I give a half hour. This seems like a lot, but if you are, I usually give a half hour after the end of the exam for you to submit your answers. Yeah, so we're submitting as PDFs. That is correct. You're submitting your exams as PDFs. I usually give 30 minutes because it takes much longer than you think to submit your answers after you've actually done the exam. I have found that only under the best of circumstances does it take less than 15 to 20 minutes. So it takes much longer. It takes almost as long as doing the exam. It's to submit the thing. So it's like a half hour. So I give people a half hour to do this. Okay, so these are the modules. Oh, you don't see those. There's some modules that haven't been the sample exams that haven't been shown to you. Okay, so oh, good. So let's see. Here, reading and science. Actually, I should. Well, let's look at this for 1 second. The reading. So for here is an example of. He would say, okay, you should read the following. Oh, and here you can actually preview it. So this is the textbook. There it is. Here's the textbook. And actually, I was amazed that you can get this textbook. They allow it now for free through Springer. So here's the textbook, and it says, well, you should read these sections in that textbook and quickly. But mostly it's just sort of everything that I wanted is really in these videos. Each of these videos are about 4 or 5 minutes. So I think it's about 45 minutes, an hour or something of videos that you should watch by today or end of today, because this will give you a, well, when we start actually working in our textbook, Coleman Young, this will give you a background of why they're doing some of these things. Okay. No. Okay, so you have the whole period to do an exam. So the exam, you have 10 questions that you do in 2 hours. I then give you an extra half hour to scan and submit your work. Is that clear? So you have 2 hours to work on the exam. You have half an hour to submit your answers. Okay. So here, and let me go back. Oh, let's see what the question is. Okay, got it. Okay, yes. Okay, so, oh, and for today, you should look over this introduction. I'll be going over some of this. Oh, and I think, you should do this math experience that just sort of says where you guys are coming from. What is your math background? Okay. Ooh, 4 questions. Let's see. Oh, it's taped. Oh, the lecture is not. No, it's not. The lecture is from 8 to 9:50. It's 2 hours. Yeah. So it is. Here, I'll go back in there a second. So our lecture ends at 9:50, not 9:30. Okay. It's 2 hours, not an hour and a half. Yes. Okay. On exam days, I give you guys an extra 10 minutes. So on exam days, you actually get an extra 10 minutes. I'll give you 2 hours rather than 1 hour and 50 minutes. Just because people want to do it. Okay, so let me look, because here there's actually no homework in this guy, just readings and watch videos. Let me go to chapter 1, reading assignments. Okay, so let me click on reading assignments. So here, and actually let me go in as a student. Actually, let me go back. Let me go in as a student. So student view. So, I'm a student. So now, as a student, voila, reading. So let me click on that, because now, So if you look up here, see where it says submit assignment? There's a little button. And there you click on that and you submit your work. For here, there's some reading. There's some watching a little videos. That's probably about 15 minutes of videos. Here are the problems that you would turn in. This is the same as was shown in your syllabus. Okay? Is that clear? So this is here are the problems. So it would say, these are the problems, and let's see, does it tell you when it's, oh, here it is. It says it's due at some particular time. So it gives you a date and a time that it is due. Okay. Let me leave this. So I'm no longer a student. Okay, so there. So those are the assignments, and then here are there's some lecture notes and other things. Oh, and the videos will also be put up.